Welcome to the Alhambra Elementary School District Parent Online Digital Citizenship class. This class was developed and created with work by Dr. Sarah Nash Bumpus, Digital Citizenship Lead for Jefferson County Public Schools in Louisville, Kentucky.
Here's a clip from the movie Without a Net. This movie illustrates why it is so beneficial for students to have access to digital devices in school.
My name is Jameer Miller. I'm a student at Penwood High School, and I'm a senior. My school is lacking some of the basic tools that I know other schools have, specifically computers. For example, in my physics class, we very rarely use laptops.
How do you calculate the pressure on this cylinder? Yeah, force divided by, so we're going to write it. Pressure.
We would love to upgrade every classroom and get it up to speed with what current standards should be. We have pretty much, I think, 1,000 students now in this building, and there's nowhere near the amount of computers or laptops for them to use.
It just frustrates me because we could have the chance to excel like other places and people and schools.
That our robots work is we have code on a laptop that we can then download onto the brain of the robot here.
So the computer can give diagnostic information from the sensors,
And if we know the diameter of the wheel, we can use that to figure out how far it's gone.
At Lower Merion High School, students are able to take a Foundations of Engineering and Design and introductory course, a computer-aided drafting and design course, a robotics course, and an architecture course. We have a robotics club, and we also have a technology student association club.
I'm gonna come around with the Wacom tablets for you. Guys, these tablets are gonna make such a difference. Being able to draw right on a tablet is gonna be such a difference in your artwork.
I want to go into aerospace engineering.
I'm interested in environmental engineering. If I were to imagine a school with no technology, that'd be a very difficult education.
We'd have a completely different life than we'd have completely different aspirations and dreams than we have now, because our hopes for the future are very technology dependent.
The entire video, Without a Net, The Digital Divide in America, can be found on YouTube. Additionally, the benefits of digital devices in an education setting have been proven through studies. As you can see in this infographic, after introducing one-to-one technology within their school, teachers report improvement in student engagement and attitude. Our children are already engaging with digital devices outside of the classroom. How many hours per week do you think the average American child between the ages of 8 and 18 spends with media and technology? The answer is 53 hours. That's a full-time job plus overtime. Many of these children are spending a significant portion of this time on social media sites such as Facebook. When signing up for a Facebook account, a user must confirm that they are at least 13 years of age. But according to research conducted in 2011, of the approximately 20 million minors actively using Facebook, this didn't stop children younger than this from using the social networking site. If you were to guess, how many of these children do you think admitted to using Facebook despite being under the age of 13? Believe it or not, the answer is around 8 million. 5 million of which were under the age of 10. Most of these children log on with the help of a parent, but many parents don't stay with the child to monitor their activity. Put your device away. I don't want to see it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm sure you or someone you know has taken this approach to managing their child's use of digital devices. However, that just isn't an acceptable answer to these issues anymore. Students have access to digital devices, and they can't learn to swim if we don't let them in the water. They will make mistakes, and we will help, support, and guide them. With this in mind, we must be intentional about teaching our children and students about digital citizenship. You may have seen these icons before, but do you know what apps they are? It is important to be aware of what is on your children's devices. Periodically check and reboot their devices. After a reboot, items that may have been hidden may appear. One fantastic resource online is the website smartsocial.com. This website sorts apps into green, red, and gray categories, where green indicates a safe app, gray indicates apps that may or may not be okay for your child, and red indicates apps that you do not want to allow your children to have. Additionally, you can view short videos explaining the app, how kids are using the app, and what you need to know about it. Keep in mind that app icons may be deceiving. For example, there are apps that look like calculators but are actually hiding secret pictures. So it is important to thoroughly check the apps on your children's devices. So what are some issues that come with digital devices? The first is screen time. We know that students spend a lot of their time with digital media. According to a study by the Kaiser Family Foundation, children aged 8 to 18 spend an average of 7.5 hours per day with digital media such as internet usage, television shows, and video games. This includes media outside of school and doesn't include texting or talking on a cell phone. That's a lot of time. Issue 2 is privacy and security. Privacy can be a challenge in a digital world where students are encouraged to share and communicate, and we know that students often don't think before they self-reveal online. For instance, according to Pew Research, 41% of kids aged 8 to 17 say that they leave their Facebook privacy settings on default, which is the lowest privacy setting. Issue 3 is what we refer to as a digital footprint. Students' actions online can leave a digital footprint that can impact their lives for years to come. For example, according to a Kaplan survey of college admissions officers, 35% discovered something online about an applicant that negatively impacted their application. What kids post, share, and say online can help or hurt them. Issue 4 is cyberbullying. Bullying that happens on the playground or in the classroom is magnified in digital spaces. According to Pew, 1 in 3 10 to 18-year-olds have reported being cyberbullied, and only 1 in 10 tell an adult when it happens. We've taken a look at screen time, so let's explore these other topics a little further. ISTE reports that a typical teen admits to having lost an average of $400 to cybercrime. Malware is malicious software that can infect devices. Malware often comes attached to games or software that children use or download, so it is important to be careful about what gets installed on your computer and other devices. If you've ever received an email from a friend, coworker, or family member that tells you to forward it to 10 other people, you've seen a common carrier of malware. Chain emails, even if they come from someone you know and trust, can be carrying malware, so it is important to be conscious of the emails you receive from both people you know and people you don't. Phishing emails are sent with the purpose of trying to gather personal information, and often these emails can look like legitimate messages from people or sites you trust. For example, a person completely unaffiliated with PayPal could send you an email with an email address that looks legitimate and includes graphics used by PayPal to make it look like they are from the company. They may ask you to fill out or verify information or change your password. However, even though these emails might look like the real thing, the links within them won't take you to PayPal, instead taking you to a site, often also made to look legitimate, where they can steal your information. If someone calls or emails you for information, hang up or close out of the window and instead navigate to the actual site on your own so you can know and trust that you're in the right place. Whether in an email, pop-up, or website, a good rule of thumb is that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It can be difficult to explain to our children that something online saying you've won $10 million means nothing and to just click out of it, but these scams are almost always connected to either malware or phishing. What may be surprising is the amount of information children share online even when they're not victims of online scams. Teens post all kinds of identifying information when they're on their social media profiles, often without a second thought. This chart from Pew highlights just some of the information teens share online, much of which may be publicly visible. Beyond being used as identifiable information, what students post online contributes to their digital footprint. A digital footprint refers to a user's unique, traceable online activities, and as technology has advanced, it has become much harder to erase. Because of this, perhaps it is better to consider the mark we make through our actions online as a tattoo rather than a footprint. Do you know any 6th or 7th graders who have a social media account? Perhaps you know students even younger who use social media. Nearly all social media services, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, require users to be at least 13 years of age to access their services. That means that every one of those students lied when they set up their social media account. We don't point this out to make them feel bad or to try and get them in trouble. We point this out to illustrate how easy it is to create an account, even with fake information. If someone wanted to gather information about students on social media, it would be easy to use a picture of a random 12-year-old and create an account pretending to be that person. They could look on a school's website and find the names of teams in different grade levels, go on the sports pages and find the names of students on those teams. Ask your child, if a person you've never seen before knew the names of all the teachers and students at your school, would you accept their friend request? Most students would, but this could be a complete stranger. Our children should only be friends with people they know in real life. Many students will say it's okay to post something on their social media accounts because it'd be fine to share with their group of friends. However, consider what your friends of friends might be able to see, or that someone might take a picture of something you've posted and post it somewhere else where other people can access it. Beyond the casual unintended viewer on the internet, we know that businesses and colleges look at social media to make decisions, and we know the government can access even information we may think of as private if they deem it necessary to do so. Tell your students not to write down anything you wouldn't want on the front page of the news. Of course, most people who put something on the internet aren't planning on being a cover story, but if they make the wrong choices, it isn't too far of a stretch to consider. You may have heard that once something is put on the internet, it can never truly be taken down. Though the internet is ever changing, there's an archive of everything on the internet, and you'd be surprised at how easily most of the internet's history can be found. One way to illustrate this is by visiting the Wayback Machine. This website allows you to see what websites look like on just about any date and time in the past 20 years, illustrating how content put online can potentially stay there forever. Another interesting activity is to have your student Google themselves, or you, and see what comes up, where you can often point out that these things aren't necessarily what you wanted on the internet and are instead things that the internet found out about you. Another unfortunately widespread issue in online interactions is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can be very different from traditional bullying. Where bullying once was typically limited to one particular area of a child's life, cyberbullying can take place 24 hours a day. When students are bullied online, typical places of refuge such as the home and extracurricular activities are no longer an escape. Bullying has extended beyond the bus, playground, and classroom, and now reaches students at the kitchen table, doing their homework in the library, and even in their own bedroom. And typically, children are not mature enough to just block someone sending bullying messages, or leave a website where they may feel harassed. Cyberbullying also reaches a much wider audience than you might expect with traditional bullying. Both perpetrators and victims of cyberbullying are often students you would not consider. In fact, one of the most common groups in which cyberbullying takes place is amongst girls. Often girls will take information meant for just one or two people and spread it across a wide audience, sometimes even tricking or manipulating others into making hurtful or private comments about others just to post it publicly. Gaming can also be a dangerous place for cyberbullying. Many games contain social components which are often riddled with slurs, derogatory language, and trash talking. The perpetrators and victims of this kind of cyberbullying are not limited to the same age bracket. Often these interactions are taking place between adults and children, with bullies and victims falling on both sides. So how should a student respond to cyberbullying? First, save screenshots or print out evidence of the harassment. Then immediately block the sender or leave the website where the bullying is occurring. It's important to never reply to a cyberbully, as this typically just encourages the sender. Depending on the severity, children should feel comfortable talking to a friend or trusted adult about the issue. Cyberbullying is a serious issue, so listen to your children and encourage them to be open with you about their online interactions. When it comes to how our children interact with technology, remember, you are the parent. You have the right to question and view content on your children's devices, as well as look at their apps and know their passwords. It is your responsibility to teach your child how to be responsible themselves. Most importantly, though, it is important to show your child that you love and trust them, and because of that, you need to be involved in their technology usage. Engage your whole family in digital citizenship, being sure to communicate with your child about decisions made that affect them. Talk with other parents and work with them to ensure that you know what your child is doing, even when they're not at home. Let your child take an active role in helping draft guidelines for your family's digital device usage, and make sure you are aware of and help your child follow any school rules that might be in place. Finally, remember, you are a model for your child to learn how to behave properly in online spaces. Thank you for taking the time to complete this course on digital citizenship for parents. We hope you found it useful. If you're interested in more information on digital citizenship, here are some resources mentioned in this course that you may further explore.
Now that you've taken the class, what's next? There is a $5 rental fee for the year and paperwork for you to fill out and turn in. In the paperwork, you and your child are signing that the iPad will be used in a school-appropriate way. You and your child must be present to sign all of the paperwork. Once everything is completed, within 3 to 4 days, your child will receive their iPad charger, and their Verizon bag. Remember, this iPad is for your child's use. They will log in with their school username and password. Please be sure they charge it at night at home so that it is ready to go for the school day. Each iPad has 5 gigabytes of data per month. That would equal to 1 hour of Netflix, 1 hour of YouTube, and 1 hour of Spotify. If you have Wi-Fi available at home, please be sure to have your child connect their iPad to Wi-Fi instead of using their 5 gigs. The data will reset on the 29th of each month. For your child's safety, the App Store is limited. If your child's iPad gets accidentally damaged, please have them report this damage and bring their iPad to their homeroom teacher. If your child's iPad is stolen, please report it immediately so district office can lock it down. This ensures that no one else can log into this iPad.